Yo, what's good?
Not much. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How you?
I'm pretty good. So thank you for joining me on Kera Dangerous Talk today. I appreciate that.
It's all good, all good.
The first way I like to start off on this show is I give people their flowers that just basically give me an opportunity to say something nice about you that I like. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start that off.
Oh,
Uh,
wonderful.
I have to say, man, I've been following you, especially lately, and I love passionate people. And brother, you've been so passionate about a lot of things. You fearless, and I love that. I especially love that in black people, cause
Oh, well,
I'm
go ahead, baby.
go ahead. Yeah,
No,
cause
no, go ahead.
I'm all about that right there. So, and you just a funny ass dude too. You made us laugh throughout the years. I've always loved your hustle since a kid. So, I just want to pay my respects to you and say, brother, we thank you for giving us the laughs, and I appreciate you being passionate on your platforms.
Oh, it's all love, baby. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Look,
Yeah.
so I kind of want to do stuff different today because you were so saying some wild stuff the last couple of days. Not really wild to me, but I'm sure to a lot of people it was wild. And I could go and ask you about how you got started in comedy and all that generic stuff. But I
Yeah, let's
kind of
skip
just,
that bullshit.
yeah, let's thank you. We'll do
Yeah.
that another time. So let's talk about some of the stuff we've collectively been upset about. So let's get
Right.
into some black people shit. And this episode definitely gonna be explicit. If none of them were before, so let's just jump right into it. So the first thing I kind of saw you talking about was the NBA protests and your dislike for how they handled that. You want to tell the people a little bit about why that kind of grinds your gears a little bit? The
Well,
NBA protests.
I just kind of felt like, you know, in terms of some of the people's responses, saying that by them playing, it gives Doc Rivers the platform to say what he said, which, I think like a lot of people, I was emotionally touched by how emotional he was. By them playing, it gives them the platform to express themselves and get our message, continue to get our message across. Well,
Mhm.
our message has been shouted since we were able to speak. So
Right?
how much longer are we gonna keep saying the same thing and keep talking about our message as opposed to putting action in place? Um, and I think one thing that history has shown us about racist white folks is, and about history of America is, you have to hit them where it hurts. And after a certain point in time, if all you keep doing is the same thing over and over with no real consequences or repercussions, then what reason would they have to stop doing what they're doing if they know they can keep doing it?
Yes.
It's almost like some domestic abuse shit. If every time I slap the shit out you, I come to you with flowers in one hand and candy in the other and tell you it'll never happen again, and you take me back, guess what? It's gonna happen again. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
and I just think that, you know cops ain't gonna stop killing us. It'll never stop until we start. And I think at this point, uh, and I would never promote violence. One, because I think it would be suicidal to us.
Mm.
Because try to match America gun for gun, tank for tank, plane for plane, soldier for soldier is just something we're not equipped to do. So if we want to fight that fight physically, then that's going to be like an insect going up against a 18-wheeler truck windshield on a highway. It ain't going to end nice.
It
So I
hasn't worked for
say,
anybody.
right. So I say, why not hit America with what it knows and respects the most, economics? And I said, could you seriously imagine if every prominent black person in sports, from football to basketball to baseball to boxing, every prominent actor from Denzel to Sam Jackson to Jay-Z to Beyonce to Ice Cube to every rapper, if every black person in every field of entertainment finally stood their ground and said, enough's enough. We demand that you put rules in place to protect us. We demand that you put laws in place to protect our brothers and sisters, our men and boys, our women and daughters. Otherwise, we're not going to entertain you anymore. And just like we make a lot of money in entertainment, for however much we make, they make 50 times more. If Netflix can pay Dave Chappelle 60 million, that means they've made quadruple that.
Right.
So I just don't understand at what point will we be willing to say enough is enough? And and I've heard black people say things like, well, how are they gonna feed their families? How are they gonna take care of their loved ones? If the players, not everybody makes LeBron James money. Not everybody makes top tier money. So for the people that make far less, how do they support their families? Well, if you remember historically, when the boycott bus movement got started, for all the black people that needed to get to work, there were black people within the community with cars that drove them to work. Am I not my brother's keeper?
We used to have our own stuff. We used to do it ourselves.
Right, but my point at this matter is, if you're hungry, I will feed you. If you're sleepy, I will provide you with a roof and a bed. If you need clothes, I got you on that too. At some point, we have to do, in the words of the Avengers, whatever it takes. And if it means me clothing you, feeding you, housing you, if you got less and I got more, then let's do that. Because what's at stake? Our lives, our children's lives. Is that not worth the price of admission? How long are we going to let fear be the thing that dangles over our head to go, we can't do that? I'm scared because if I do that, this will happen. Listen, my career is where it is, not because I'm not as good as Kevin Hart or Mike Epps. I know joke for joke, pound for pound, I'm right there with them. My career is where it's at because I do this, because I'm loud, I'm vocal. And while I might not be real quick, to the people that want to mention 5150, grow the fuck up. We're talking about something serious here. Grow the fuck up. It's this mentality of niggas that do this and want to suck Corey Holcomb's dick. This is not the time. You want to talk shit about 5150? DM me. Put it in my DMs. We having grown folk conversation. Sit at the kids' table with that bullshit. Back to what I was saying.
Right on.
Now, I know my career in terms of, I'm not doing anything Malcolm X like, Martin Luther King like. So I would never try to pass myself off as something that important. But I'm just saying the message. At what point are we going to stop fucking around and get serious? So,
man, see, I love that. You just gave me some goosebumps, man. I'm over here feeling tingly, man. I mean, what is it about comedians that make y'all fearless? Because I had Lunel on, and she didn't give a damn. She was speaking at real talk. I watched Dave Chappelle talking about it. I seen Cat Williams talking about it. Why are y'all different than the athletes? Than the singers? What is it about y'all?
I don't know that we're doing anything different other than the fact that we make some of this funny. As tragic as it is, as dark as it is, as serious as it's to be taken, our job is to still be funny. Whereas a singer in the heat of a verbal exchange or trying to articulate the same message, they're not going to be funny. An athlete ain't going to be funny. They do what they do, and that's what they do, and that's that. But comics, we try to walk that line and create that balance.
You guys are so intelligent, though. Somebody because y'all make your own money, but I'm sure somewhere along the way there's somebody who could try to stop you as well. So I don't know if that's...
Well, I think from that standpoint, I think a lot of black people have to be extra intelligent because we've always had to take lemons and turn it into lemonade historically. So we always have to be 2 steps ahead of the game.
That's why I don't understand why so many black people on social media have been saying 2020 has been a bad year. I mean, besides COVID, it's been the same to me. I don't like. I'm realizing a lot of black people don't seem to have a lot of coping skills. I don't know. I feel like Trump really helped a lot of the black people to wake up because it's like what you were saying. It seems like if we get a little bit, we forget that we still got a lot to work on. Like they for some people, and I know you feel a certain way about black people talking about Obama, but what I'm about to say is I think that for some people, when we got Obama, they was like, okay, we're done. We'll ride.
Yeah. Um, and just
And then
and
he
to be
showed up.
right, which is again why I think that's a testament to Obama even more so.
Okay.
Um, I listen. Unfortunately, whether you black, whether you white, it don't matter what color you are, what your gender is. Everybody ain't meant to make past minimum wage. Some people are just meant for minimum wage, and unfortunately, some of our people don't have the ability to see past what should be obvious. Um, and I don't want to really get on an Obama tangent because Lord knows I've fought in that fight so many times. Um, but yeah, and this is why I say I think slavery did a number on us, which is why I can't stand when white people so insensitively say to some black people get over slavery, because some of the things that we say, some of the way that we think, some of the ways that we act is carryover from that. I often say to myself, how can somebody with black skin that knows the history of our people, what we have done, not just with entertainment, because that's the biggest thing that gets portrayed. But I'm
Mm.
talking about in terms of what we've added to society scientifically, in terms of education, intellectually, knowing the history of our people and the beauty of our people. How could you hate yourself? How could you hate fellow black people? How could you be a coon? But Coonism, like racism, is taught. It's passed down. It's
That's exactly
generational.
where I was going next. I was going to ask you, how do you feel about Coons? Because,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
it's 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 generational. Someone in their family before them was a coon, and they people before them and before them
I
and before them, and that's all they know. So they pass that down. They pass those thoughts and those ideals down.
never thought about it that way.
Yeah. No one is born racist. No one is born a coon. You can't be born hating yourself. For what reason? For what reason would you hate someone that looks like you? That's taught.
Well, I think sometimes people teach themselves that they see that they have a harder life and they see another type of people having a,
No, no, no.
you don't think so?
If you got a mother and a father that instills in you the things that you're supposed to know, the pride that you are supposed to have,
Well,
then
that's true.
why would you think any different?
No, that's true.
Just because you poor don't mean you're not as worthy.
That's true. And they get the biggest coons to talk on TV, man. I can't.
Absolutely.
That's what killed me. And I be like, some of the people who got shows, they'll constantly, and I won't name no names, but they'll constantly invite the same person. It's this one guy. I can't name his name, but they always invite him on, and I'm just
Let me tell
like,
you, I know the Coon Camp roster very well. Paris Denard, Pastor Mark Burns, uh, Sheriff Clark, Diamond and Silk, aka and Show Liz, Omarosa, Terrence J. Williams, David Harris, Larry Elders. Am I forgetting anybody?
did you say? Oh, you
Oh,
said Candace.
and Candace Owens. And this is where I take my hat off to Dave Chappelle, because I never quite knew how to describe her, and he coined it beautifully on that special he did for Netflix where he did it outdoors. He said
Mm-hmm.
she's a brilliant idiot, because here's the thing: she's very articulate, and she's extremely bright. And when she says the things that she says from an intellectual standpoint, if you don't know your shit, you can buy her argument because she's that on point with the way she speaks and delivers.
Mm-hmm.
I am not as eloquent in that way. I can't articulate the way she can. But I know I'm not wrong about what I'm saying. And the problem with me is, if you were to put me up against her in a debate, I would lose. Not because I don't know not because I'm not right, but because she would just have a way, vocabulary wise, to dance around me. Whereas if she were to go up against Eric Dyson or Professor, I always forget this brother's name, with the afro and the glasses, he always wears the scarf and he has the gap in his suit. Eric Dyson and Professor, it's killing me. But those are two of the most articulate, quick-witted, intelligent black men I've ever seen. They can dance that dance with her that I can't dance. Cornel West. Somebody just said Cornel West, Professor Cornel West. But if I got in a debate with her, I would ultimately end up saying to her, bitch, fuck you, suck my dick. Because I know I'm not as articulate and equipped to match her with that bullshit. But I know I'm not wrong in what I'm saying. Whereas Eric Dyson and Cornel West, you know, they could match her bravado. I can't.
I'm about loving it just raw like this now. I don't even care to hear elegant words. I just want to hear the truth. I just want somebody to be fearless.
one of the smoothest things you could do, and one of the biggest things that I love, and I often go back and watch this clip on YouTube. And to the people listening, if you really want to see how it should be done, YouTube Minister Farrakhan on Donahue.
Oh, I
mean, when them white folks try to come at him with vitriol and anger and all that bullshit, to be that cool, that calm, that collected, and with intelligence and facts, shoot all that shit down like a sniper with a rifle. That's how I would love to be able to take out Candace Owens. But I don't have that. I got, you know, I don't have that. I got a bunch of middle fingers and a bunch of dirty looks.
But you can always get there, though.
I mean, you can, but shit. I wasn't raised like that. I'm part good times, but I'm more the Huxtables.
Well, let me ask you this. What's your thoughts on the state of black love?
Can you be more specific?
Well, just black man and black woman, you know, how we treat each other. I mean, I guess we kind of talked about black unity a little bit. What I'm trying to get into is that I did see on your Instagram, you posted a question. I would kind of like to know the feedback you got. You asked, do Asian women get upset like black women when their men come over here and they date other race of women, which primarily Asian people come over here and they marry white women? What did you find after you asked that question? I was just curious.
I was hoping that a lot of Asian women would comment, but I think out of all the women that commented, one Asian woman did. So I really didn't get any feedback on that. And I think sometimes the media has a way of trying to make it seem like black men dog black women out more than they really do. I think, as a matter of fact, the majority of black men prefer black women. Just like they try to portray this stigma that a lot of black boys are growing up without fathers, when I think that a lot of black men are responsible fathers that are there. I think that's just one of the things they like to perpetuate to feed the stereotype. You know, this is why I take my hat off to Denzel, because, and my manager, whose jersey, my ex-manager, whose jersey I have hanging up in my theater room, Norm Nixon, married to Debbie Allen. He's best friends with Denzel. So for a good part of my early career, I would spend time at Norm's house around Denzel. And Denzel would go out of his way to make sure that when he did movies, he wasn't kissing a white woman. You know, they wanted him to kiss. Yeah, they wanted him to kiss. There was a love scene in The Pelican Brief with Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
And he refused to do it. And he refused to do it because he said, black women feel a certain way about me. And if I do that, that's going to make them turn on me.
Right.
What a strategic, great move. Uh, because there's so many times when our black women have been made to feel as though they're not good enough. Um, and I don't know if Denzel has done this on purpose, but I've noticed that in a lot of his movies, when women have played his wife, they've been dark skinned. Now, again, I don't know if that was his call, but let's say it was. I think that's another strategic great move. Not to say that there's anything wrong with light skinned black women, but dark skinned black women have especially been made to feel like they're not good enough. So when you take the most handsome, sexiest, successful, rich, A-list dude in the game going dark sisters first. What a powerful statement.
Yeah, that means something.
You
And
damn right it does.
I don't know who else would do that. I mean, who else would do that?
You know, this again, I don't want to get on the Obama thing, but I will say this.
Go ahead.
This is why I had a hard time when I have a hard time with some of the shit that black people say, which again I attribute to slave thinking. Like I even had black women go, "So what, Michelle Obama? So what? Fuck her. So what?" And I'm just like, is that where we at now? When did we become so comfortable that that type of cultural symbolism is not important? Black, again, our women have always been born and bred to believe that their skin is a sin. Look at you with your wide nose and your big lips and your nappy hair. They're not good enough. So here you have Michelle Obama, an elegant, intelligent, sophisticated black woman as the first lady.
Yes.
Now, if she serves as a beacon of hope for a black girl out there, a little black girl that's feeling suicidal because she's been bullied, or she feels insignificant because of those same black features. If Michelle Obama serves as a beacon of hope to make her stick her chest out and her chin up and go, nah, you good. You can be the next first black lady or the first black female president. Is that what we doing, black people? Is that what we doing, black women? We are denouncing Michelle Obama? We are denouncing that? We should never be that comfortable, ever. Even if we got even on the playing field, ever. Have you, every time Hollywood refers to, and you've heard these two slogans, the girl next door, America's sweetheart. Has the girl next door or America's sweetheart ever been a woman of color? Ever. It's always white woman, particularly blonde hair, blue eyes.
I'm glad you brought that up.
And those two terms are fucked up.
Yeah.
America's sweetheart, to be fully embraced by America. The girl next door. She's so sweet, you could leave your door open at night for the girl next door. Fuck out of here with that, man.
That's why I don't understand why a lot of black women I see, especially on social media, whenever white women get all razzled and dazzled about feminism, that's what kind of screwed us in the 50s when we was working together. The white women came and grabbed the black women and said, help our movement. But they only want our help when it's going to be beneficial for them. Like when they say, oh, let's have diversity in companies for women, they always start with them first. The door is always open for them first. And I just don't know why people don't be honest about it.
Again, this is what makes Dave Chappelle such a fantastic cultural, generational legend of a comedian. What special was it? I think it was his special, one of his specials on Netflix. I think the one he did in LA. Age of Spin? I think it's Age of Spin. When he talked about, he said a white woman yelled at his show, women suffer. They do. Women suffer. You do. Women suffer. I just said that. Just like you. Slow your roll, bitch. Women suffer, but not like us. Quite frankly, y'all were in on the heist. You just didn't like your cut. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I remember I picked up a magazine, and it was a Hollywood issue. And they were talking about all the strides that women have to make in show business. They have to work 10 times harder than men. Women directors go through hell more than the men directors. It's an unfair boys club. And then they highlighted the women directors who are making change and who are pushing through and fighting a good fight. Okay, that's great. But if it's all about womanhood and sisterhood, how come those same powerful white female directors don't point out how black women get the short end of the stick from that standpoint? Like, if it's really about sisterhood, then help them come up. Why aren't y'all all in the same fight? But they don't talk about them. They discount them. They get in on the heist. They just didn't like they cut.
Man, I've been behind the scenes working in television for almost 15 years now. And I can't tell you how many countless times there's been a new white woman to come in, and the same qualities I possess, they would call too much, or above my pay grade. But when she does it, it's she's a leader, she's taking initiative, and they act like they don't see it.
You mean to tell me from a talent standpoint, from a pure theatrical standpoint, Angela Bassett is not every bit the legend that is Meryl Streep, but you think they get paid the same?
Hell no.
You mean to tell me you pound for pound, talent for talent? What's my girl's name?
Viola.
Shit. Viola Davis.
Yeah.
Ain't as good as Julia Roberts.
Right.
But we know what it is. By the way, before we keep going, let me mention my podcast, because I know at some point if we keep talking, this will cut out, and I want to make sure all these people listening, please support me. Spears and Steinberg, the Jew and the Jerk. All you got to do is hit me up in my DMs on Instagram. I'll gladly send you the link. And it's available on all streaming platforms. Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Google, whatever. What do they call that shit?
Google Podcast?
Google, all that shit. So Amazon, Google Play. But
okay.
Worst case, just hit me in my DMs and I'll send you the links so y'all can support me. Because I'm really trying to get up in here like these white boys and get my 100 million like Joe Rogan. And it seems like such a pipe dream to hit that goal, but I can't do it without the people. So the more supporters I have, the more my numbers come up, the more realistic that goal. So please, y'all, please.
Well, shit, what you think I'm trying to do? I started this show here to serve the people. I just want real people on talking about real stuff. So, look, I already know what you talk about. Kera Dangerous on YouTube, baby.
And to the ladies listening, please, I gotta treat it, because my podcast with my podcast partner, Andy Steinberg, we talk real, we talk raw, we rugged. I'm gonna be honest. I call women bitches a lot, because that's just how I grew up with my aunts and with my uncles and fathers and mothers, and we motherfuckers playing spades and dominoes. That's how niggas talk. The bitch. So, but I don't want women to think that I'm on some disrespectful shit. So I always say this: listen to episode 27 first, the Pussy Podcast. That's like a free sample of drugs. Once I get you hooked, now you gotta pay for it.
Okay.
And also listen to episodes 90 and 91 with Kyla J. Lacey. This sister is amazing. She had one of the coldest poems I ever heard about white privilege. And at some point, I want to interview Erica Lachey. I don't know if you know who she is. She's on Instagram a lot. Pretty dark-skinned sister, beautiful lips. But yeah, so Aries is for the women. For the bitches.
Wait, excuse you. You don't see these lips here?
I do. But I was concentrating on your eyes first.
Oh. Look,
eyes is the way to the soul.
Look,
I can get to your soul, I can get to your lips.
Look, I was just looking at that old picture you posted of you on a different world. You had them waves back then. You were looking good.
I look Dominican. That was 40 pounds lighter.
Yo, I was tripping out when I saw that. Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember that day you was on a different world?
Oh yeah, it was surreal, because I'm watching it growing up, and then to be a part of it, I'm like, holy shit, that's Jasmine Guy. That's Kadeem Hardison. Oh
Ooh.
shit, Jada Pinkett. So yeah.
Look, while you plugging stuff, don't you have a new TV show coming out on Showtime?
Oh, that's so old. That was with Damon Wayans. It was
That's
called The
old.
Underground. Yeah, we did a sketch show on Showtime. That's super old.
Well, damn, I'll edit that part out then.
It's all good. No, keep that. Keep that. You ain't gotta edit shit. Keep that.
Look, okay, so we gotta get into it here. Like, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but I was a little disappointed on you on this. But what the hell is going on with you and God?
I don't know that there's anything going on with me and God. I'm just trying to ask questions that I think need to be asked and
Okay.
challenge things that I need to be challenged. Listen, at the end of the day, people gonna believe in what they believe in. And I'm not trying to sit here and denounce what you believe in, just like
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't denounce what I believe in. But I like to expose the hypocrisy of religious people. They always, if everything in the Bible tells you to embrace your brother, love your sister, and
Mm-hmm.
even if they don't believe what you believe, put them up under your wing, show them, guide them, love them. Everything is nurturing. But then the moment you say something that goes against what they believe in, I'm damned to hell. I ain't shit. Who the fuck am I? All of a sudden, all these curse words coming out your mouth, and you supposed to be this God-fearing, Bible-loving Christian. So you
Well,
can't have it both ways.
look, no, I'm not saying none of that. But see, you ain't telling people what's your issue you got going on now. I want you to tell.
I just don't understand the things that don't make sense. And a lot of times I feel like when I try to talk to religious people, rather than get answers or have a
Mm-hmm.
meaningful dialogue, what I get is riddles and anger. God gives man free will. You know, God has a plan for everybody, where everything happens for a reason. But there are things
Mm-hmm.
that happen in life that dispute all of that. So, and it doesn't make sense. There's so many contradictions. So, and my whole thing is, you know, tell me why you believe in God or you think God is real, other than what you've been taught, other than what's been handed down to you from your grandparents or your mother. What is it that makes you believe? What proof? What science? What do you have? Because for every example that you can give me as to why he does exist, I can give you the same rebuttal to dispute that. So that's all I'm saying. And listen, I'm not completely 100% sold on the idea that God doesn't exist, because once upon a
Mm-hmm.
time ago, I really believed in it. I really believed in it. And a part of me still does. But there's too many things that I see in this life that I just go, that don't make sense. And I can't get some sort of scientific answer or some sort of realistic answer that puts it in perspective to me, that makes me go, oh, okay, now I get it. I looked at the Chadwick Boseman thing, the Kobe Bryant thing, his daughter thing. You know what I mean? God don't like ugly. Well, if God don't like ugly, why the fuck is Donald Trump still breathing? Kobe wasn't ugly. Chadwick wasn't ugly. Kobe's 13-year-old daughter wasn't ugly. So why did they have to go? That don't make
Well,
sense to me.
okay. Well, let me jump in here. Have so many thoughts coming at me. Hopefully, I can get them all out in a good way.
Somebody
But
just said, wait a minute. Somebody just said, God is not a superhero like Doctor Strange. Well, then what are you praying for? Believe in the power of prayer is what they say. Pray on it. If you pray on it, it'll happen. Let go, let God. That sounds like some superhero shit to me. So which
well,
is it? People contradict. God ain't a superhero. Well, then what is he? Why say the power of prayer if prayer don't work?
for one thing, I don't think everything is in our understanding because, and for second, it's okay to ask God those questions. Anybody who tell you it's not, I just don't go with that. It was some people in the Bible that would, really you sit down and ask God the tough questions. And I asked him the tough questions because like you said, we've been going through hell for more than 400 years. So sometimes I want to be like, God, what's going on? But I think what everybody can agree on is, I think I heard you even say in one of your interviews when somebody asked you a question, it wasn't the time. And although we may say, well, why
So
hasn't
I'm
God
sorry,
done
baby. I'm
this?
sorry, baby. I'm sorry. I'm listening to you, but I'm reading these comments too. So keep your point. But again, somebody said, wow, Aries, what's going on? You need a hug. That's dismissive. I don't need a fucking hug. I need answers.
Just
But
focus
that's the
on me because
but
that's what
listen,
people
listen,
do
listen,
when they
listen.
call people
But this is what
crazy.
this is what I'm saying. This is the bullshit that I like to expose. You need a hug. That's dismissive. Don't dismiss me. Fuck a hug. Give me an intelligent answer. Back to your regular scheduled program.
Well, people do dismiss people when they call them crazy and stuff. So I definitely try to do that. And remember, you get what they say, you get more flies with honey. So even when somebody doesn't agree with you, I don't believe you go right in on them. This whole Kera Dangerous Talk is about let's talk it out. That's what it's about. So what I was saying is, I think everyone can agree about timing. We are known to say, oh, this didn't happen for me because it wasn't the right time. What people have to understand is God is the highest power, right? And everything that we think should happen right away, to him, it shouldn't happen that way. When somebody died, what do we say? Like with Black Panther just died, everybody says, man, life is short. Oh, look at that. Well, to God, like there's no time. Like to us, when we're going through this pain, it may seem like so much, but then when somebody dies, we say, oh, or when we get older, we say, man, that went by fast.
So let me ask you something.
Wait, let me just. But
all right.
my point is that time is almost an illusion. Even though it seems like we're going through so much now, he said his people who believe in him will gain the glory. The people who are full of pride, arrogancy, evil, jealous, although we want to see them go through hell right now, and it may seem like they're not, God said he will avenge for us. So we don't have to seek that revenge necessarily. So he's going to handle that for us.
Okay, please let me stop you now. Because this is what the debate is. For 400 years, what took so long for the event? Did the avengement come? The 60s, all throughout a decade, did the avenging, I don't know if that's the right word, did the avengement come? Medgar Evers, Martin Luther King, the 4 black girls that got blown up in the church bombing in Birmingham. That killer was never brought to justice. Emmett Till's killers never brought to justice. When Trayvon Martin's killer, still breathing, still eating, still living. When is all this avenging going to happen? Oh, let me guess. We can't see that. It'll happen in this mysterious time somewhere else that we'll never know. So where's the satisfaction in knowing that?
Well, like in the beginning of Adam and Eve, when they disobeyed him, when you read Genesis, it says that there was knowledge that was kept away from people. Okay, so and when you read Proverbs, it tells you that before God even started making earth, wisdom already existed. Okay, so shit, you making me forget where I'm trying to go. So, whew, I know what I want to say. It's just slipping from me. So basically,
It's like you talking to Candace Owens right now.
well, you think you Candace Owens? Hell no.
I might be the brilliant idiot right now.
No, I'm saying some good stuff, man. You just ain't hip to it. But I think God is an experience. You have to spend more time not just being frustrated. You have to become more spiritual. You have to build a personal relationship with God. Because for me, I know God is real because he's shown himself to me being evident in my experiences. And that's something that is personal to me. That's why I don't go trying to fight people about believing in God anymore, because I know my experiences are my experiences. And that's why we are all God's. And you will hope if you meet a godly person, being around them, you will feel God's love. So I think on some of that, you have to be in a certain realm to open yourself up to that spiritual experience to understand that God's love is there. And death shouldn't be looked at as something bad. Let me tell you something, Aries.
You
I
see,
have
I'm
been
hitting you.
through.
See, I'm hitting you with the Gary Coleman. What you talking about? Willis face.
Well, that's because you don't have the understanding. Because rejection is nothing but the other person not having the vision to see. So what I'm saying, I went through 10 years of a rough time in a place that was hard for me. And I'm at such peace now. I'm even at peace with death. And that's because my perspective has changed. My understanding of who God is. And just like he said, you have to read in the spirit. You got to live your life in the spirit to experience some parts of God. So that's why I think some people don't understand it. And it may seem like I'm just in a bunch of BS to you. But until you get to that point where you grow in Christ or you grow in God, you won't even understand what I'm saying because you haven't reached that education yet. It's like going to school. You start here with Christ, then you grow here. And I don't know, that's just how I feel. Death is not the end of anything. It's really one of the beginnings. You don't know what you was doing
But
before you was
but but
born.
but of course. But here's the thing: you don't really know that. That's speculation. And listen, if there is in fact a heaven, if there is in fact something better than here, if heaven is the stereotypical, you got wings, you can fly, eternal life, then damn it, I'm ready to leave right now. Because that sounds better than here. But if it ain't that, and this is all there is, and once it's over, this is some cruel shit here. This is some cruel shit. Because I'm sitting here, and when I posted that picture of Chadwick in the hospital with the cancer kid, and I'm sitting here going, this is the cruelest shit I've ever seen. So this kid has got cancer, is going to die. The man who's in here being a good human being, granting this kid the wish of his life to meet Black Panther, ironically also is going to die because of cancer. Meanwhile, the racist, sexist, homophobic, piece of shit windbag narcissist that is Donald Trump, who holds rallies without telling his people to wear masks, thus spreading the pandemic. And because of his lackluster execution on trying to stop the pandemic, or at least put a hold on it by dismantling the team that Obama had in place, calling it a hoax, disrespecting the scientists, not taking it seriously. This nigga's responsible for some death. And he's alive? Make that make sense to me.
Well, so we won't just spend the whole night talking about religious stuff. I have to say, to me, people can easily believe in evil because you see it. Why can't you believe that goodness is here? He said it was a war. How you know God is out here fighting? His angels are out here fighting these demons every day. Demons and spiritual entities, those things are real.
I want to quote
Those
something. I want to quote something.
quoted.
I want to quote something from one of my favorite shows to watch on TV, his Real Time with Bill Maher. And Bill Maher is a loud, proud atheist. He did a movie called Religiousness. And I think he went to something that was like, it was the biblical version of Disneyland, where it was like a theme park where they would have reenact religious things from the Bible. And they had one guy portraying Jesus. And Bill Maher was having a conversation with him and said something to the point of, you know, God is all powerful. God is almighty. God is stronger than evil. And if evil is amongst us doing what he's doing, and God is really as powerful as everybody says he is, why don't he just take evil out? What's he waiting on? Like if it's a
Well,
one-on-one fight, what is he waiting on?
well, let me ask you this: what do you have hope for us? What do you want us Black people to do? How can we pull ourselves up by our bootstraps?
That sounds like this is that's a different conversation.
I
I asked you
know.
a religious question.
I was trying to. That didn't work.
Nah, that's it's a different thing.
Okay, you asked me. about, say it again, just the last little part.
I'm just saying, if it's a question of good versus evil, and God is all powerful, this unstoppable, unmovable force, then why don't he just take evil out once and for all?
Because have you ever given anything to somebody and just gave it to them? And I mean, what is that gonna do?
What do you mean? Give something to? What do you mean?
Because it's just like you're just gonna give people, you're just gonna give us the salvation, I guess. I mean, but wait, I mean, what you?
I'm just saying. If in fact he is that, why can't he just go? You know what? I'm about to whoop evil's ass. Take him out once and for all, and be done with it.
I'm sure he can on his time, but he got stuff in motion.
Oh,
that's what it's about.
I got you.
Look, people said I was trying to change your mind, but I'm really not. We'll just have a conversation, guys. I'm not in the business to change anybody's mind.
Let's move on to something else, because I'm reading some of these comments too, and somebody said this is a very opinionated conversation, and it's, you know, people feel one way, people feel another way, and that's going to always be the case. So let me just say for the record again, I'm not saying I'm completely there, and in my heart of hearts, I'd like to believe, but I've just seen too much shit, read too much shit, and a lot of it just don't make sense.
Okay, so then let me go back to my questions. Now I can just, whoop. Do you have hope in anything for us as a people?
Yeah, I'm hoping that one day we can really galvanize and get together the way we've always should have, the way we once did in a particular place in time, and, you know, do what we got to do for our own survival.
But money's become king to us. I mean, you've seen the basketball players, they stopped playing for one night, and then LeBron tweeted something to like ease the situation over, and they back on the floor the next night. So if we live in such an individual society, we used to at least think about the whole. Now it's what I got. I need something better than you. Oh, look at me. I got more followers than you. Oh, I can't,
Well, I don't know what it's going to take. It's going to take something else. It's going to have to get worse before it get better. I don't know what it's going to take, but I got to believe that at some point there will be the climate will be enough. And it seems like every time we get to that point, we all come together, we march, we pray, we wear Black Lives Matter t-shirts, and then it dissipates.
Okay, well, can you imagine
it goes away?
Well, if Obama was in office for another 4 years, we wouldn't be where we are now with black folks standing up. Trump was needed only because black people woke up. More black people woke up this year. I'm sick of everybody talking about it's been a bad year. It's been a good year.
I know it's become popular for black people to all hate on Obama and throw him under the bus. And again, I don't want to go down this road.
I'm not throwing him under the bus.
Well,
I'm just saying. When it's easy for us, we forget. We forget. Aries?
I think we do more than forget. I think we do the same shit, like the definition of insanity, doing the same shit over and over and expecting different results. I think we do the same shit, which is why we keep getting the same results. Oh my Lord, 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 Lord. Oh my Lord,
I'm sorry.
All right. All right, gonna say what you feel now. All right, everybody knows about the 54. We just gonna march and we'll be all right. I don't know, but shit.
Look,
I ain't never prayed before. I just think
this hour is going by so fast. Look. Wait, before this hour is up, let me get this in. And I gotta get this in. You can say whatever you want about it. But it's a lot of black people out here, and I know we supposed to be unifying, but I'm gonna have to call some black folks out before this hour ends. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
black folks that I know behind the scenes, and a lot of black folks I know, don't know, ask me how I know, but I know they out here claiming they for black people. They always been for black people. They so militant this and militant that, and they are not. It's a lot of folks in what is it, wolves and sheep clothing, and I
Right.
keep telling people you have to start discerning people's spirits. Aries, you in the business, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's some of the most popular people. They get up here, they got the most followers, the most fans. People think because they're attractive or they just skim over everything. We are living in a time, y'all. Y'all got to start using y'all damn heads. You got to start using your third eye. Just because somebody brown like you or whatever color you are, don't mean you should trust them. I keep telling people this. That is so understated right now. I mean, it's a lot of people who just out there for themselves, out there for the dollar, just want to be famous. They'll tell you whatever, but behind the scenes, they are working against us as a whole. Am I lying?
No, I mean, but that's always been the case, right?
I mean, it's always been. Am I losing you? You look poops.
No, 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 no. I'm just saying that's always been the case. That ain't a news flash.
Yeah, but that's one of the things that really just. But I mean, I know people flock to those that are fake more and phony. I mean,
Right.
that's nothing. That's nothing new.
Listen, like I said, I think at the end of the day, we have to do something that we've never done before. We've never shut it down. And I thought when the NBA players was going to go, we not playing, fuck the rest of the season. I could have swore if they would have done that, I thought the NFL would do the same thing.
Not the NFL. No, you didn't.
Again, if that's why I said, if every group of people and every facet of entertainment said no mas, no mas, that's something we've never done before. Who knows what that would have done?
Brother, you talking about not allowing to go back to God. I see people won't believe in God, but y'all want me to believe the NBA players gonna do that. I'm definitely believing in God before I believe the NBA players gonna stop playing basketball. like them brothers are not finna stop playing basketball. I mean, they can stop playing and go play somewhere on the streets and people will tune in and they won't do that. So I mean, you think they finna stop playing basketball? Hell no, they not. I mean, come on. They were just pacifying people. That's all they were doing.
And the
And
fact
people,
that they did that, and the fact that they did that was more harmful than good.
right.
Because think about that message. See, told you. What they gonna do?
Well,
Pray.
it's been a lot of
What
black
they
people
gonna
doing that
march?
lately.
That's what some of them are saying. And when I say them, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, look what they gonna do? Pray. What they gonna do? March. Here they go again. At what
So
point before you do what you got to do to be taken seriously?
I hate to say this, but it's gonna take more riots, shootings. It takes negative stuff. It takes evil for people to unite. I mean, can you prove to me it doesn't? I mean, let me ask you a question. Can you prove to me that it doesn't take cops shooting us? It doesn't take people pretending to be us and start laundering or littering, whatever you call it.
Yeah, but if at this rate, if we keep allowing them to shoot us before we get serious, won't be enough left of us to pray.
Well, they lynched us and it was still enough of us, so what's the difference?
Okay, but it seems like we're going at an alarming rate right now.
Why? Because it's on TV?
No, just because it's just happening almost every other day.
I, I don't know. I just don't feel, to me, I feel like this stuff has just been going on. Maybe I'm delusional. I mean, with black people, I'm just like, really, y'all? Y'all didn't know? Did y'all not, somebody help me out. Did y'all really not know? I mean, is it me? Somebody tell me, is it me, Aries?
No, hey, like I said, we just got to move different. And unless we move different, they ain't gonna move different. I remember somebody said, well, what's not playing basketball gonna do? How is that going to affect anything? It's like, come on, man, this is the $1 billion boys club. Billionaires hang out with billionaires. Millionaires hang out with millionaires. Shit is like high school. The jocks sit with the jocks. The cool kids with the cool kids. The goths with the goth kids. You mean to tell me that you don't think some of these $1 billion sports owners don't fund some of these politicians' campaigns? They not sitting at some of those $5,000 a plate dinners? If the athletes would do what they need to do and affect the owner's bottom line, then what reason would the owners have to go to some of these politicians and go, hey, listen, I need some change because my niggas is unhappy. And if they unhappy, then my side piece is going to be unhappy. I can't afford my yacht. I can't afford to make my side piece happy. So we need you to put some laws in place to make these niggas happy.
Well, in your opinion, what can people like our viewers that may not be making $1 million do? What can everyday people do to help the cause?
Keep doing what they're doing, but it's not going to take some of us. It's got to be all of us. It's got to be all of us.
And let me just point out the fact that Black people, we do suffer from a lot of trauma, a lot of stress, generational trauma that has been passed down, and we don't get any help for it. We just keep living. We just keep fighting. We are the kindest of kind people, because if we did seek revenge, that's why it's crazy when they try to act like we're the dangerous ones. And I know you feel the same way, Aries.
Well, yeah, I mean, Doc Rivers touched upon that. And I touched upon that in my Vlad interview.
Damn, I got 25 seconds, Aries. Oh, my God, I enjoyed you so freaking much.
Thank you, baby. I appreciate you. Thank you for the time. Again, y'all, hit me up in my Instagram for the link to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. I'll send you the DM. We're going to have to continue this.
You want to continue?
No, I mean at another time and date. Because I got another one to do in 3 minutes.
1 second.